All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A video answer segment type of video leading up to next week's episode of The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 13, The Same Boat. And the first question for this one, or the one we're going to be starting with, is me giving my thoughts on Carol. So there was a few people who messaged, and asked me what I think about Carol. And we had heard earlier on this season, Robert Kirkman did say in an interview that she's the safest character on the show. And he often will say something that actually means the opposite. So if he tells you, hey, this character's safe, absolutely, no question, that you'd almost be more likely to take it the opposite direction that she's not. People wanted to hear, I guess in my predictions video, I didn't really give my thoughts on Maggie and Carol. Spoiler warning if you're not caught up, being captured by Alicia Witt's character, the group of saviors there who weren't inside the facility when Rick and the group attacked. And the reason for that is because, of course, this isn't based on a comic book series storyline at all. This is the new stuff. So this is where we're getting to the new stuff. We have what seems to be a new group of saviors who maybe we'll find out their names. We'll find out if they're, based on a comic book series version. But this is definitely a new storyline to see the saviors capture a couple people from Rick's group and bring them to another location for questioning and that, so they can find out more about them. And about the survivors and that, and so we really don't know what the hell's going to happen. We have no kind of baseline to draw from and see if okay, maybe there'll be a remix or something. We'll see. But in this one, I tend to think they'll probably both be fine. I tend to think Maggie and Carol. I don't think either one's going to be killed off. This question's from Kinneyan Lyrics, and he says, "Hey Trev, when two characters get captured, one of them usually ends up dying." And he's got some examples. He says Michonne and Hershel, Beth and Carol. It's funny that Carol's been captured before, and so has Maggie actually. But you didn't mention Glenn and Maggie being captured by Merle, and then both of them still surviving in that case. So then he says, or she says, "Do you think Maggie or Carol have chances of death to be killed off?" Well, we know that Maggie did cut her hair in that. Could that be part of what they do? Maybe when they captured her, maybe they scalp her or something. I don't know. Maybe not the skin, but they cut her hair or something and bag over the head. And I don't know. Torture or something. Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that brutal or too bad. I don't think she's going to get burned face or anything. So no. Same with Carol. Next one is from Bryan Donovan, and he said it was a similar question. He said, "Trev, you haven't answered one of my questions in ages, bro. Basically, I was going to ask you, do you think they're going to kill off Carol? From all of her focus last episode, it seems like she's becoming less cold and more compassionate, leaving the cookie for Sam, her thing with Tobin, defending Morgan's choice not to kill, wanting to protect a pregnant Maggie. Looks like she even writes down her kill count and cries in that one scene. Also, when Rick tells her they have to fight, she looks sad. She seems tired of fighting and killing after all she's done. Because there's such a big shift in her character, it would lead me to believe that she's likely to be on her way out. I could see her potentially sacrificing herself so that Maggie and the baby could escape. Just an idea. Would love it if you gave your thoughts." So yeah, with this one, I have no idea what's going to happen. I figure the Alicia Witt character is going to get the information she wants out of Maggie, probably. Carol, of course, wanting to be as Tobin called her, the mother of the group, which is a really cool way to think of it, wanting to protect the group and doing everything she can for the group. I do think she would do that. She would sacrifice herself to save Maggie if need be. But I don't think it's going to happen with this group and this character. I don't think Carol's going to be killed off right now. I really don't. Because it seems like, now some people think maybe the finale in that, and it's like, yeah, maybe. I don't think Negan would bash her head in. I don't think so. And in addition, it just feels like there's so much other stuff going on. There's going to be so much other stuff happening for the end of the season and this last quarter, so to speak. It's like a season quarter, so to speak. Last 4 episodes, 14, 15, and 16. 13, 14, 15, 16, 4. That I just don't see it. So write your comments below, guys. I know they've given her some time. It maybe feels like a little bit, but a lot of that I think is because she hasn't had much attention in the last while. And, in the first half with JSS she did, but also with Rosita and the other characters, Morgan and that, I think they wanted to kind of have them touch base with what happened. Even though we're moving into a new storyline, I think they felt it was necessary to do that. And I think that's part of why they did that with Carol. And just kind of show, even quickly, how she's feeling. And, after Sam was killed and the Andersons were killed and that. And, But I don't think she's going to be killed off in the next few episodes. If they do kill Carol off, then I'd be very surprised, and I don't think they're going to kill Maggie. So my prediction is I think they're both going to survive this time. Who knows what they're going to do with Carol in the future, but I think for now, she's probably okay. But we'll see. Next one's from Dead_Pool, and the movie's huge now, like Deadpool, man. That movie has done really well. And he says, Trev, I know things haven't worked well for the group, but if they went with Morgan's plan, do you feel it would have went worse? So far they've had the 2 get captured. Aside from that, but they've killed, somebody counted, up to 29 saviors. So I think that's about what you can expect. I don't think you should expect to go to war against a group, to go to battle, and kill 29 of the enemy and lose 0 of your own. You go into that knowing that you're probably going to lose a couple, at least one, I would think, in that battle. All it takes is one shot and one of your people's down. So you'd have to be pretty, tactical, and they're very tactical and very smart. And also you have to know the location too and everything about it. And they knew a good amount. They didn't know everything, and they don't know everything about Negan's group. So you're going to expect to have some losses in that battle. So far they've had captured, but they haven't really lost anybody. No one's been killed on Rick's group's side. So far things have gone well based on what's happening. I think if it's war, it's war. And things are going well if you're 29-2. That's pretty good, to be honest. Now, with regards to Morgan's plan, Morgan didn't really have a plan. Morgan didn't want to fight. He didn't want to do this. And maybe his idea was like, okay, well, just forget the food. We'll figure it out. We'll find another way. Whatever we got to do, it's not worth going to war for. We'll find another way. People aren't totally starving yet, and we'll make it through, and we'll find something, and we'll go on more runs or whatever. But it is true that eventually the saviors would find them and force them to give up half of what they have, and they wouldn't really have much of a choice. They either fight at that point or they surrender and they give up half of what they have all the time, which is not enough, I don't think, and they're going to be working for them consistently, giving up stuff, constantly producing, giving up stuff, feeding them, and taking care of not only yourself but others as well too. And also, even if you do that, Gregory gives the drop, gives it to the saviors, and Negan's pissed off that it's not enough, or it is enough, but he wants more, so he sends back Ethan to kill Gregory. So even if you do listen to Negan and do what he says, he's still going to kill a few of your people here and there. Just because he feels like it. This is what it is. Keep you in line, whatever. He's going to kill a few of you. So that's a pretty tough case, too. So you have a few options. The group could leave, but as you saw in the episode, there's kids running around. Not kids like Carl, like just kids. And there's, elderly people and older people and that. And, it would be tough for those people to survive out there in the world in the zombie apocalypse. So if you're going to jump ship and just leave, you're going to say, forget it, let's go somewhere else. And then even if you go somewhere else, you run the risk of running into another group that could be similar, or running out of food because you're on the road. You need more food to travel, and that's going to be hard. And you're going to have to walk on foot a lot, and that you need more food for energy. And it's going to be difficult to feed all those people. So it's a tough situation. There are different options, but I don't really think Morgan really had a plan. And I think Rick and the group felt like, we can do this. We can take care of these guys, not knowing how many people the saviors actually do have. But you definitely feel for Morgan's position when they have to go in and just kill everybody. Kill that many people. And, it is a question. It should never be easy to, have to kill people. But, I guess I guess maybe they could have stayed out of it, but they did show that they were getting really low on food. You got Rick at the beginning. He's like putting of this section, this new story arc. He's putting like another loop in his belt, another hole in his belt, so that he can, because he's getting so skinny, he's losing so much weight that he's having to to do that because they don't have much food. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, would things go worse if they didn't fight them at all? Well, it could go even worse if they didn't. And they don't, Alexandria people, they don't really have much. If Negan was to find them, they'd probably want half of their ammunition or take all their guns. Or they might take them all. They might take all their guns and everything and then just, treat them like lackeys. And if they starve, they starve. And if they don't produce, they kill a few here and there. And they get desperate and then they die anyway. So, yeah, so Negan's group is pretty awful for what they do. And I guess Rick, in attacking them, even though you wouldn't like it. It doesn't feel good to have to do it, kind of like Rosita says. You don't want to do it, but you kind of have to in order to survive in that situation, I guess, if you think of it that way. Granted, we have more perspective than Rick's group does as well, too, and Rick has been able to handle, their group has been able to survive and fight against many different groups up until now and have won every time, one way or another, even as Terminus, the governor twice, whoever else they fought along the way, the wolves, whatever. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. Next one's from Chris Fleming, and he says, Trev, I'd like to hear your thoughts on why Negan would put Dwight in charge of an outpost if he abandoned his post so recently. He's not loyal. Why would he give him power? So it seems like to me, Dwight is probably, I wouldn't think that he would be in charge of his own group right off the bat, right away in the TV series version. The comic book series version is much different. We don't see, we know that Dwight has been, hurt obviously by Negan, and that he doesn't like him, and that he's scared of him, so he's not going to do much. But he's willing to turn coat as whenever, if he thinks the other side is a sure win, he will. So so why would Negan put him in power after he's tried to leave and he's kind of betrayed him and all this stuff in the TV series version? Well, maybe Negan will be under maybe Dwight will be under somebody for a while, like somebody like that Wade character that we haven't seen yet. We heard his name in Always Accountable, maybe another, leader of another group. And I'm assuming maybe that character will be killed and then Dwight might have to take over or something, his own little group. And, Negan is keeping everybody in line. But the group is full of, people like Joe's group, scumbags and stuff like that. Guys, just want to get high all the time and, kill people and whatever and smack the guy from the hilltop for absolutely no reason and joke around with severed heads and stuff. It's the kind of people they are. And they put pictures of bashed skulls right next to their bed. The kind of scummy people. So, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, so he's got to try to keep them in line. These are the people he's got in his ranks. So if they turn against him, it's like, whatever. It's kind of to be expected, sort of. I'm sure there's a lot worse people in the group as well there, too, in the Saviors. We'll do a couple more. Next one's from Chance Neck. He says, holy shit, Trev, do the Saviors also come across that scary in the comics, or is it because they added some stuff on TV? So did they? Okay, I'll make this one the last one for this one because this is a good question. So in the comic book version, are they as scary as they are in the TV series version? I would say yes. Once I saw the covers of the issues, and you have, you got guys with like sledgehammers, chainsaws, crossbow, bats, and just a lot of, something to fear. The Saviors are really scary. They are really, really scary. So it is what it is. They are. But the TV series version, I feel like, are not quite. So far, okay. So the pictures thing, I think, adds to the fear of them for sure, and makes them, really seem bad, or at least make Negan seem like he's really scary. But when we do see the Saviors kind of face off against the group, I'll try to cover. Spoilers here. But you see all the knives and stuff and all them coming out, crowbars and all this different stuff, chainsaws and everything. They're fearsome because of their manpower. They have a lot of manpower, and they're brutal. They're brutal people. They don't really, they're willing to do just about, anything. I mean, Rick's group is pretty brutal now, too. Like the guy said to Rick, he's got nothing on you. But he does. He's got quite a bit of manpower on Rick, I think. And, Rick will kill people. He will do whatever he has to do, but he doesn't enjoy it. That's the difference. Rick doesn't enjoy having to do this stuff, whereas Negan does. Negan is sadistic in that way, which is like I said in a recent video, a level beyond. That's as evil as it can get. Is if somebody actually enjoys hurting others, they enjoy the evil they do. Sadism. That's, I think, the purest form of evil that there is, when you actually enjoy it. So, yeah, but they are scary in the comics too. It's just getting to see it drawn in one way is one thing, but getting to see it in live action, getting to see kind of pictures and like the way Nicotero does his stuff. I mean, he does a great job of making it look real, like 100%. So they should be even scarier in the TV series. And just from those pictures and looking at the pictures, I was like, oh my God, So I think the TV series version is going to be even scarier overall than the comic series version was. Maybe they'll be even scarier than the Terminus, the Hunters, because of what, of just how fearsome they are, how powerful they are, and how helpless smaller groups can be compared to something like that. Crazy stuff. So write your comments below, guys. Let me know what you think. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. As usual, you can share. If you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. And keep sending me your questions for the rest of the Q&As for this week. That's it for today's. See you guys again probably tomorrow. As always, it's Trev saying peace. See you guys.